gorgeous souls. Welcome to this video on the Leo full moon happening on February the 12th. So Leo teaches us to be bold, to be ourselves, to shine in our authentic truth, to lead from the heart, and reminds us that we have the power to shift the energy of any space we enter. So I always love playing in the energy of a Leo moon. It is very much about creative self-expression and helps us connect with our inner child. So, we're going to dive in today to some of the very powerful aspects that are at play this full moon. And I mean, overall, this year is just groundbreaking energy anyway. And at the end of the video, if you haven't already saw my 2025 predictions, I teamed up with an amazing astrologer and we just had this kind of casual conversation about the incredible shifts that we're seeing this year with the outer planets and the implications of that. So overall, this year really is groundbreaking. And I mean, we're in February. I know we're already feeling it. So I want to take a moment to give a warm welcome to anyone that may be new here, to say hi to all of those who are with me on this journey every new and full moon. I'm in a different location today, not in my office, and the cat lovers who are present will probably get this. So when I went up to my office, my cat, Katana, was all curled up in my office chair, and there was just like no way I was going to move her. She looked so cozy. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to do my video somewhere else because I also wanted to record this. I just had so many downloads coming through. So, in a new location today. All right, let us take a closer look at this full moon energy. I'm going to share my screen so we can dive right into the chart. I know so many of you have shared that having the visual is extremely helpful and that you're also learning so much about astrology from these videos, which is amazing because clearly it's something I'm so passionate about talking about and sharing with you and wanting you to understand these energies. And as we really move into the age of Aquarius and we have Pluto in Aquarius, it is the sign of the astrologer. So I think astrology is just going to gain more steam, be more prevalent in the years to come. And again, we're already seeing a glimpse of that. But as far as this full moon, we have the moon at 24 degrees of Leo, opposing the sun at 24 degrees of Aquarius, which is conjunct Mercury. So we have this Sun-Mercury conjunction that is also opposing the Leo moon. So because it is a full moon in Leo, this is the energy we really want to understand. So Leo is the archetype of the heart-centered leader, and more than ever before, there really is this calling and this rising up of leaders that lead from their heart, that trust their intuition, that are connected to their higher self. And I actually created a challenge around this. I want to share about this before I forget, and it's so in alignment with this Leo energy. So it's a free 5-day challenge called Sacred Leadership, and it's all about paving the path to a higher consciousness on the planet. So if you're feeling a call to lead, to deepen your connection to source and your higher self, and to really step into your power as a leader, really activating like your unique magnetic presence as a leader. I have so much goodness planned for you over these 5 days. So I'm going to share the link below if you want to hop in and join us. There is time to join. We begin on the 17th. So definitely claim your spot. We have a beautiful group of light workers, healers, visionaries that are already in. So back to this Leo energy, definitely connected to leadership, bold expression. And we often hear this idea of like shining in your truth or looking at where you're dimming your light. And I think we first need to know what it means for us to shine in our authentic truth. When are you being fully you? And when do you shut that down? So for many of the clients I work with, when we're looking at the messaging, how they speak about the beautiful healing work they do, it's looking at where they're dimming down their message or where they're trying to make it appealing for other people, but they're actually not honoring what just wants to channel through them and be shared. Leo is about that bold expression, and it is connected to the inner child energy of playfulness, which is so magnetic. And also, if we look at children, they're more likely to just be themselves. I mean, eventually we get into the space where We become aware of how others are perceiving us, what's acceptable, what isn't. And then we have this like innate fear of not belonging or not fitting in. So we may change how we show up in order to feel like we're being accepted or fitting in. But at a very young age, children are just like, this is who I am. Just being themselves. So often a glimpse into like, what is my authentic truth can be looking back to what you loved as a child, what you were like, how you expressed yourself. Not that we don't grow and evolve, of course we do, but there's such an innocence in children and that we have as children, and such a connection to our divinity and to source and to being who we really are. So a lot of that comes up again with this Leo full moon here. And Leo is the opposite sign of Aquarius. And this year, we're actually working with a lot of fire and air energy. And if we look at the elements of fire and air, it's like a fast-paced energy. It can feel like everything is accelerating. And I know a lot of people have spoke about this, like the change in how they are perceiving time. So I mean, it's going to even perhaps feel like a quickening of pace with this fire and air energy. But how we perceive time really is a perception as well. And the more present and grounded we are in each moment in time, the more that time really does expand, right? When we're not like future tripping or dwelling on the past and we're just here, we're present, there's a spaciousness with that. So Aquarius energy, opposite Leo, something they really do have in common. And signs that are opposite one another are also compatible energies. And we actually want to look at both to get a sense of the wholeness and completeness of the energy. So both Aquarius and Leo are all about originality, eccentricity. They're a little bit rebellious and really invite us to be our unique self, because that's when you're going to create the most impact on the planet. It's also going to be when you are most fulfilled, when you're just being who you are. They both teach us that. But Leo is more about the self. So Leo is like me energy. Aquarius is we energy. It's very much about the community and our connection with the people around us, what we are contributing to the world around us. And with Pluto in Aquarius right now, beginning this new 20-year era, it really is a focus on community that we're going to be seeing. Like, we're not meant to do this on our own. We're meant to come together. Power to the people. We are powerful when we join forces and we come together. So Aquarius really brings in that energy, and Mercury in Aquarius here is about expanding into new possibilities for your life. Mercury in this sign is definitely a visionary, not here to play small and not caught up in the details. It's very good at like seeing the bigger picture, as visionaries are. They see the bigger picture of what's possible beyond what is. So it's activating our inner visionary. The most potent aspect that I'm seeing with this full moon is the square with Uranus, the disruptor or the awakener. So, the thing with this energy is if we are called to create change in our life or for the planet and we're not doing it, and then suddenly something happens that causes a change, it feels disruptive. It feels more awakening if we're not trying to control everything and we're in flow with life. So there's a lot of perception here about whether we experience this energy as being more disruptive or more awakening. Like, we get a lot of say in how we play with these energies. And a square formation can definitely be a point of tension. So this could also be a good time to look at where you are in old stories of victimhood or life happening to you instead of life happening for you. Everything changes when we're able to see life through the lens of, if this was working for me, if this situation or this experience was happening for me, how would I move through it? Who am I evolving into? Who am I being called to be instead of being a victim to what's happening? It's like we're coming back to our power and we're allowing ourselves to be transformed in beautiful ways. Like growing and evolving is a part of life. And this energy here really reminds us of that. And Uranus is getting ready to move into Gemini this year. So it's another outer planet that's moving into an air sign. It's going to really pick up speed in incredible ways in Gemini. So we'll talk about that as it happens, but right now it's, nearing the end degrees of Taurus and really is that opportunity to look at where you're feeling stuck and stagnant, where it's time to create a change in your life, where you can look at what's unfolding in yourself and the world around you and really ask how it is all of service, how it's calling you to transform and lead in new ways and not like a punishment or happening to like we don't want to go into that mindset because it's not very helpful for us. So that's the main aspect I see with this energy here. There, yeah, there is another one I want to touch on. This is quite powerful as well. So the moon is also trining Chiron in Aries. And trine aspects are a harmonious flow of energy. And Chiron is known as the wounded healer, but it's also the key to our greatest growth and evolution. So, in harmony with this moon, we got a lot of fire energy for one that's being activated with that trine aspect. But it's also about looking at anywhere where we're still holding the insecurities or telling a story that it's not safe for us to be all of who we really are, that we have to perform a certain way or look a certain way or show up a certain way in order to be loved and accepted, insecurities around leadership and like healing those. This is a harmonious aspect. So it could also be an awareness of how far you've come on your journey of loving and accepting yourself. And even more than that, like celebrating that you are a gift to this planet and owning that, really own that energy. We also have a lot of planets at this nth degree of Pisces now, specifically Neptune and the North Node. Neptune at 28 degrees of Pisces, the North Node at 27. This is the final degree of the zodiac. So it really signifies endings and completion that are happening for us like collectively. Like, of course, the collective is also a reflection of like each of our own personal journey and life, but this really suggests like endings are happening collectively at this time. It's a very spiritual aspect as well of recognizing that we're here in human form, but we are not these physical bodies. We're in these physical bodies at this time as a vehicle to move through life, but there's so much more going on, and we are connected to so much more, and we are just so loved and supported on our journey. So this is a very creative energy, and you know what? Leo is very creative too. So there is a lot of creativity being activated right now that will come from giving yourself permission to be fully expressed. Like often if we don't feel creative, it's like we've shut down what we really want to say and what we really want to do. So it can be a journey of getting back to that. Saturn here at 18 degrees, so more at the mid mark of Pisces, is forming a trine to Mars, which is still retrograding. Oh my goodness. We are going to feel when Mars finally goes direct. So this kind of opens up like a whole other storyline here, but we recently had Jupiter move direct. So you may already feel like as we go into February with the Lunar New Year, Jupiter direct in Gemini, that things are already starting to like pick up pace. If you felt stuck or stagnant, energy is moving a little more, clarity is setting in. You're really like finding your groove for the year ahead. When Mars goes direct, that's going to be amplified. But anyway, this aspect here of Mars trining Saturn, the message I'm really receiving around this, like in addition to studying the astrology, and I've done this for years, I mean, many of you know my story at this point. I was the kid on the schoolyard reading people their horoscopes, so I've loved astrology and studied it for a very long time. I also work in the Akashic Records, and I love to open up the records and really ask for guidance on the highest timeline available as we work with these energies, because it's not even just like it never is something happening to us. We are in this co-creative dance, and these energies are also archetypes that are alive within us. So how can we work with them? And anyway, the message coming in here is looking at where you are trying to create change in your life or make things happen through force, through applying more pressure, or thinking that working harder is the answer or solution. And it just isn't. It isn't. Not that, action doesn't play a role. It does. Not that there isn't a time for hard work. There is. There's just something more available to us. And with Mars in Cancer, a water sign, Saturn in Pisces, another water sign, we are reminded of frequency and energy, and that the energy in which we do something it plays such a big role in the outcome we receive. That's why many different people can take a similar action, but the results they get are incredibly different. The energy behind it was different. So, this is about intentionality, the intention behind our actions, the bigger vision behind our actions, the frequency behind our actions, and leveraging that, really leveraging that. Yeah. And I think that's everything for now. That is our Leo full moon. So, once again, I invite you to join me for the upcoming Sacred Leadership Challenge. I'll put the sign up link below, totally free to join. I would love to have you and support you. I think we need these heart-centered leaders really rising up and knowing what it means to lead, really how to lead from love, and just growing a movement that creates a ripple effect of positive change on the planet. Wishing you all a happy full moon in Leo, sending you so much love, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.